Paulsen, Senior Guard Bro Montgomery, Senior Guard Joe Octave. Coach, you want to make an opening statement?
Yeah, a great win for our guys. Especially we were up, in the last minute and a half at Siena and let that one slip away. And we talked about teachable moments and growing, and I thought our guys did it. At the under 8-minute media timeout, I think we're down 9, and we just said let's cut to 5. At the under 4-minute media timeout, I think we had 8 straight defensive possessions that we stopped them. So I think our second half defense, especially, was really, really good. To out rebound that team by 10. Is a phenomenal effort. I thought we did a much better job on the glass in the second half. And then obviously these two seniors, just made some gritty plays, some heady plays, and that's what you need to do. So really satisfied. We said if we won a big game, we haven't arrived. We got a lot of work to do. We got to keep getting better. If we lose a game, we're not done for. But I think it's a great building block to hopefully just cement our guys' belief in our system and what we're doing and what they're capable of.
Coach Ron Bailey, HoyReport.com. First off, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ron. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Talk about the efficacy of that gap style man defense in the second half. You guys clogged it up the lane with it a little bit, and I think it put them on their heels.
Yeah, it did. And typically, and these guys, it's a little bit of adjustment because I would prefer not to have to clog it up that much and not give up threes. Normally I wouldn't want to give up 11 made threes, but we just said, we had to kind of choose our poison, and their athleticism, and obviously Epps, can get downhill. Cook is a monster inside. Styles I think could really get to the paint, and we just felt like we just really had to exaggerate being in the gaps and really helping. And just try to win the battle on the glass. And it wasn't perfect, but for the most part, we did a good job.
Dave, I know you initially said that right out of the chute there that this doesn't mean you arrive or anything, but just how much does a victory like this help, given that you're in year one and you're obviously looking to build things here?
I mean, I think, again, like as I said, I think it helps validate, like these guys have worked their rear ends off. And they've been coachable, and they've let me coach them hard. They've been responsive. These two seniors have led the way, not only in their work ethic, but also in being held accountable, in less than gentle ways from time to time, right? And so you just want to validate, these guys deserve to win, right? They've worked so hard, they've bought in. And these guys have been through some ups and downs. These two guys especially have been through some ups and downs. So I'm just really gratified, for them to see that. And as I said, hopefully now it's a building block to continue to get better.
How much did it help that you had already had real game experience at a game similar to this where you're down by so throughout the game and take the lead late? I know you didn't hold it against Siena, but tonight, how did it help that these guys have been through it?
I think it helped quite a bit because I think all those guys were kicking themselves like, we should have won that one, right? And we fought, we scratched, and we clawed, and everyone's like, oh, you guys, really showed a lot of progress, and that's all well and good, but you want to come away with a victory.
And what did you see maybe on film with Georgetown, or whether it's part of your offense, all the cuts that you were able to get 2 feet in the paint, all the finishes you had at the rim, especially in the first half? I think you had 16 paint points in the first half. Where did that success come from?
It's what we want to do. Is to touch of paint. We don't. I thought our front court guys gave us a really good effort, but we don't have like an old school back to the basket post up guy. So you have to score from the inside out, and we got to do it by committee. So Joe did it, Bo did it, Will Batchelder did it. Some of we got some back cuts, and that's how we have to play. Paint touch and assists by committee, not necessarily one. We don't have a point guard per se. We have 3 or 4 guys that are capable of playing with the ball and making decisions, and that's what we want to do. We got some for our guys here. They're getting bored. They're tired of listening to me talk.
I'll do 2 for Joe. John Titel from Hoops HD. 33 points, 11 boards, 0 turnovers. Number 1, was this the best performance of your life? And number 2, as a guy who played at Air Force, is it extra special to do it on Veterans Day?
Yeah, it's probably the best performance of my life, I would say. Do it against a Big East opponent on a special day, it means a lot. And, being at Air Force, having that experience, I was a little motivated. So just the whole national anthem, seeing the ROTC come out, that was cool for me. And I just had to take a moment. So, it was definitely a big performance, but if we didn't win, I don't know. Just happy we won, happy we did it for Coach Paulsen and the guys.
Well, I'll throw a couple your way. First off, just defensively, what did you think kind of switched for you guys there in the last 8 minutes or so? And secondly, having been through a few seasons here, just how meaningful is it to get a victory like this?
Yeah, defensively, we just, followed what Coach said. We played in our gaps a little more than we usually do. And, we just hustled on the rebounds. We, like you said, was plus 10 on the boards. So it was just credit to our, hard work and everything in practice. And, it's a big just, being here and for 4 years. Senior is the biggest one in my life. So, I'm just happy. All glory to God.
Number 1, first off, how do you pronounce your last name?
Octave.
Okay. Were you surprised that they didn't really run and jump at you when you were in Fuego, when you got hot? Were you expecting doubling to get the ball out your hands?
I was expecting it a little bit. They kind of switched up their coverage. They went ice on me and Bo for the most part. So they did change it up, but like I said, we've played through a lot of scenarios. Coaches just prepared us for these moments, and we just continue to make in-game progression. So.
Last question.
Dave, obviously that last play there, or the offensive rebound and the 3-pointer attempt right after that probably wasn't what you were looking for there with about 8 or 9 seconds to go. How did you kind of get it? Fair to say. Fair to say.
Yes.
How did you kind of, quickly try to move past that in that timeout? And just, not that timeout you could really do much quick since it felt like it took 5 minutes or so.
It did feel like it took 5 minutes. Yeah, well, I had Bryson Johnson, R.J. Evans, and Ted Rawlings all telling me, calm down, don't kill him, coach, calm down, we'll talk to him afterwards. And but at that point, there's nothing you can do, and the kid feels as bad about it as anyone. And what I thought was good is, Will Batchelder, who was as good a shooter as I've coached, he struggled. He had some open looks, he had a great one from Joe, but I thought this was his best defensive game I've seen, and so, one night it's, tonight is Joe, it might be Bo, it might be Will, and we just, those guys, I looked at Joe and Bo and the other guys, they went and grabbed them, you're all right, we love you. And that's what families do. And a lot of teachable moments, but as I've said many times, way better to teach from a win than a loss. Thank you, guys.